There are getting to be almost an infinite number of massage tools out there, but today I'm going to walk you through really what I've been doing to help with my back with this rib being out of place now that I can finally get in and do some work on those muscles. To help warm up the area, I'm going to start with my foam roller, and while I don't think I can get down on the floor to do that right now, I can at the very least use the wall. And so I like the wall for people starting out with foam rolling, as well as for people who can't get down to the floor. It's really only beneficial for rolling out your back, but it still helps to apply less pressure, and it kind of helps to save your knees and your legs. This is also great for people getting started working out, and if you're having trouble doing squats, whether that's hip issues or knee issues, using a foam roller against the wall can help, and I'll show you why. So we'll start by putting the roller against the wall, and I'm actually going to move it up so it's just about at the bottom of my ribs. And now take a couple of little steps out with your feet, and your feet about shoulder width apart. Make sure your roller's straight across. And with my knees moving in the same direction as my toes and not extending out beyond my toes, I'm just going to do a little squat here. Nice and slow, down and back up. And it's still not quite hitting where I want it to, so bring my feet back, move it up just a smidge for a starting point, step my feet away just a bit. Okay, let's try again. So really gentle, slowly coming down and slowly moving back up. So keeping your knees in line with your toes, and to protect your knees, you don't want your knees to extend beyond your toes. Having your feet out in front of you actually allows you to do that while maintaining a good straight position in your spine. I'm going to roll through a few times. I'm also going to bring my arms up slowly until I can get them as close to the top of my head as I can. Not applying pressure downward, but just keeping my arms up. And this changes the angle that the roller is moving across your scapula, and is hitting those attachments in different places and opens you up underneath here to get some of those underlying muscles as well. So we'll roll through that several times, keeping a straight back, knees in line with the toes. And again, there's not much else that you can do with the wall, but this is great for starting out squats, as well as gently rolling your back. So bring your feet back towards the wall, let the roller fall, and we'll go over to use the Theracane. So I've already warmed up the area with my foam roller, and now I want to use my Theracane to get into some of those specific areas right around my shoulder blade, especially between my shoulder blade and my spine. When you start, even to do your upper shoulder, reaching and rubbing, you're causing a lot of unnecessary tension in that area. So the Theracane is my favorite tool for this. So starting kind of at the top of my shoulder, what I'm going to do is find an area that's tight, put the knob there, and this hand is really just stabilizing. It's not doing much except keeping it from falling and moving. Your pressure is being applied with this hand, and you're not pulling and yanking. You're actually just going to gently push that out and away. Ooh. And what that does, using the arc of the Theracane, helps to apply pressure directly to that area. So you're going to apply pressure for 10 to 15 seconds and then release. And you can go back to that same area after a few seconds of release. You can also move into just above or below and use the angle of the Theracane to change the angle you're applying pressure. So we're still actually on that same knot of muscle. I'm just under it now. But what I'm going to do is push out with my hand and then rotate that up, and that brings it up to the underside of it. And this does take a little practice to get used to. So work with it regularly, and that'll make it a much more beneficial tool for you. You can also just drop this hand if that shoulder is really tense and just use your opposite hand here. The most important thing that I have to say about using a Theracane is you do not want to rub with it. I used to sell these and people would come in and, oh yeah, I work with these all the time, and just start going to town on their back, and that is a really good way to bruise your tissue. So instead of rubbing through the shoulder, find that area and sink into it. If you have any questions over self-massage techniques, other tools, or even just massage in general, feel free to reach out to me, and as always, carry on.